What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Point Three podcast. In today's video, we are at the time of recording this 24 days, 3 hours, and 2 minutes away from the Thunderbolts releasing. May 2nd is coming very quickly, but we here at the Point Three podcast are going to be breaking down one of your favorite characters in the MCU. That's right, Bucky Barnes, aka the Winter Soldier. We know him as one of the most layered and tragic characters in the MCU to this point, who was introduced as Steve Rogers' best friend, going back all the way. What is it now, gents? 11 years, we said?
Yep.
11 years since Winter Soldier. But remember, Bucky did appear first in Captain America, the First Avenger, back in 2011. We all know Sebastian Stan has been a Hydra member, an ally of the Avengers, the Wakandans, and maybe potentially some of the saviors of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier Disney Plus show. But gents, Bucky's journey has been wild, and we're going to talk about that here today. So before we jump into it, for those of you who are watching this, drop your favorite Bucky/Winter Soldier moment in the comments here on YouTube. And don't forget, if you are listening to us on any platform that you get your podcast, whether that's on Apple or Spotify, we appreciate you listening along with us here. But gents, Hero Scroll, I'm going to kick it over to you first. What is one of your favorite MCU moments for Bucky Barnes?
Man, it has to be the first introduction to the Winter Soldier in Captain America Winter Soldier. Just remembering the apartment scene, him running around on the rooftop. I'll always remember my reaction to the trailer because I was with a friend at the time and we watched it together. And then when he turns around, catches the shield like it's nothing. To this day, it's still one of like the coolest moments. I remember I also put it like on my personal Instagram. I think I put like, I don't think the picture is still up, but it was like a fan art of Winter Soldier catching the shield, and I said Winter Soldier over Captain America any day of the week, I think is what I put. So yeah, ever to this day, his introduction as the Winter Soldier is still one of my top moments for me.
I think besides that one, just because I don't want to double down on it, he had him and his rocket team up in Infinity War. I think is one of my favorite moments. Seeing them two, that like you would never expect to like join forces side by side like that. Just seeing Bucky being a badass during that entire fight. And that was kind of the first time we get to see him again post Civil War, and kind of like with the post brainwash, or not brainwash, post brainwash recovery that Wakandans put him through. I think that was just really cool to see. And obviously Rocket asking him for his arm after was funny, but at a core, Bucky was badass in that scene.
Yeah. No, I agree. I got to think the shield catch was definitely the first awe moment for me with Winter Soldier. I'm like, oh shoot, here we go. But I have to say my favorite moment is probably in Civil War when him and Steve are fighting Iron Man. I think the intensity in that moment overall, like that solidified Sebastian Stan for me in like a post Winter Soldier world, and like a, he's Bucky, he's there and he's with him till the end of the line type of thing. Like that whole moment just had so much emotion wrapped up into it. But the highlight I always go back to wasn't Cap or Iron Man, and that it really was Bucky. But with that though, obviously we have a lot of history. We're going on 14 years since we've gotten Sebastian Stan, 11 years since we've gotten Winter Soldier. So here, I'll kick it over to you first. What are kind of some of your thoughts overall on him just in the MCU?
And overall, just one of the, I think a lot of people associate him as like one of the best top tier MCU characters, right? At this point, definitely where we're at with phase 5, right? Phase 5 of the MCU, going back to he's OG, he's one of the OGs. So one of the few that are still in there going strong, and I think that adds a lot to his character overall from a presence standpoint because he's been through it all, right? Like through it all. Just a tragic character though. And I love how they portray that through his relationship with Steve, his relationship with Tony, his relationship with the other Avengers, and how other people view him, right? Because even his relationship with Cap is so cool, the way that they interweave really the story of Bucky through the 3 Cap movies, where Bucky dies, in the line of action in the first one, or we thought he dies. Second one, he comes back and now he is the main villain. He's the one that is, antagonizing everybody, and Cap has to find a way to stop that while still trying to remove the emotions of him in Winter Soldier. But then in Civil War, we get the post of that where now it's like, how do we repair this friendship going forward? But now again, you're being weaponized against your own will.
Mm-hmm.
Again, just when we really think about it, all 3 Captain Americas are in reality the story of Steve and Bucky's relationship. And it's really cool to see, because I don't think any other superhero within the MCU has that kind of like close friendship interwoven into their character as Bucky has.
Yeah, I think the big thing for me is definitely that what makes him so tragic is in the beginning he never got a choice, and that free will was taken away, and you really see that battle as you kind of go through, and ultimately culminating going back to Civil War, where you get more insight of like what was he really sent to do, and one of those missions was to kill Tony's parents. And I think for that, him remembering it all, I think that was a good moment when you finally get some insight into like, what's going on here. And he's like, I remember it all. That to me is insane, that a character like that can go through, I don't know, what was he gone for, 70 plus years or something along those lines. And after he got captured, going through and just being kind of the world's greatest assassin for the most part, just being a weapon at will. It was crazy. And when they're reading that book and you hear those words come out, like the build that I always felt inside where I'm like, no, 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 no. And then it happens. You're like, oh, and they play that all the way to when Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Like, it's such a core part of Bucky, but like, I don't know, that always sticks with me every time, even like playing Rivals and stuff throughout. Like, I always think of MCU Bucky. Yeah, well, that too. that too. SB, what about for you?
I have one fun fact that I have just found out. Bucky is older than Steve Rogers by 1 year. He was born in 1917 and Steve was 1918 in the MCU. Yeah. But Bucky's always been interesting for me. I'm not gonna lie, I remember when Winter Soldier came out, I wasn't on the wave as I am now, and like I didn't have it as a top 5 movie. I don't know why. I truthfully don't know why, but I just remember growing up like that not resonating with me as much as everyone did.
To be fair, real quick, especially for Bucky, I do think this is a relevant point to make. At the time, people didn't know how good that movie was going to be when it was coming out, especially on the heels of the first Avenger. People were skeptical about Captain America, and that was like the introduction. I think it hit so much harder, especially with him being the antagonist. Obviously not the main villain. Shout out Pierce, and scumbag. Yeah. But I think it took everyone by surprise, and it was really that movie got pushed up. Like, that movie ages so well.
It does.
To the point where like people
recently,
yeah, people got to the point where you're at
or something. I did a watch party for it, and it's definitely top 5, definitely top 10 movie now. But I think back then when I was really younger, I don't know why, I just didn't really care for Bucky that much in it, or like Winter Soldier aspect. But looking back at it now, I'm like, damn, that's some really good storytelling, like what Hero brought up earlier, of kind of bringing him back from what we thought he was dead and twisting it. And from being a casual at the time who did not know anything about comics, I was genuinely surprised. And like, first of all, how the hell did that even happen to survive an ice fall that high? From Cap 1. But he definitely grew on me over the years, and seeing him in Civil War and kind of recover, and then seeing him in Infinity War have that really cool scene, and Falcon and Winter Soldier. All of his like post trauma healing has kind of helped me grow with the character as he grows with himself.
Dude, real quick, that's a really good point because he had about 8 really solid appearances in kind of his main appearances. But one thing I think that gets overlooked that a lot of people will call out when you're reflecting on the character is a mini part of his arc that he had in Falcon and Winter Soldier, where he's recalling the stuff that he did for Yuri's son, and that like going back to that Winter Soldier piece and like how him and Falcon are kind of going through their issues together. But for him, still in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and that's what 2021 show. Dude, he's still battling with, am I a redeemable character? Am I worthy of forgiveness? Am I worthy to even be this person who can ask someone or confront someone and admit to the atrocities that I did? I think that's such a strong part of his story that got glazed over in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but still ties all the way back to the 2014 movie.
Yeah. I think something that I truly want Bucky to have like his own true soul like project himself and not really be like a side character. And unfortunately, just with the schedule coming up, we're not getting that anytime soon. But Thunderbolts may be the closest we get to him being like a leader of them.
Congressman Barnes, sir.
We'll see how long that goes.
I'll be interested to see how they play that in the Thunderbolts, because I do think that it's gonna go either in the route of like he lost the to be elected, or he has won it and now he just feels empty, like he realizes it's not doing anything for him in the way that he thought he would. Both are which I think are very interesting ways to take the character, because if we look at it based on the trailers, he's reverting back to the kind of distant, sadder looking Bucky. And again, they do it very subtle, but by his hair. Like his hair's getting longer again. Like he kind of looks unkempt. Like from what we saw him in last time in Brave New World, that is not the same Bucky. Something happens in between that he's spiraling once again, or maybe not spiraling, but going downhill. And that's why I do think maybe Thunderbolts is such a good fit for him. And I think that's why from the jump when they announced the cast, I think everybody was on board with him being on it, because he did bring that weight and that heft to Thunderbolts that they need to kind of make them like a legitimate movie.
Yeah.
Or team in, a casual perspective.
Yeah.
I agree real quick to that point though, of like something happens where he isn't that kind of cleaned up politician type of guy, because I do think there's a level of Bucky that will never go away that ties in with this theme of the Thunderbolts of I don't belong anywhere. Like he's never belonged anywhere. He's always felt like the outcast, even in Infinity War, like the white wolf, the lone wolf type of mentality type of thing. That's always been kind of, associated with him, even within the MCU. I really love his inclusion in Thunderbolts. I know for you comic fans out there, they're like, well, duh, he is a Thunderbolts member, a character leader type of guy. For the MCU, it's not that case. And I think his perspective and his character, he can feel like Spider-Man, to your point. Like he feels like that Gold Ranger to me, where he's not the Red Ranger leader per se, but he's that ace that's going to be associated, where like they'll stand side by side, and it feels like Yelena's going to be that 1A and he's kind of going to be that 1B, but she'll get like the final blow where he's like really the one who set it up type of thing. Like that's what my gut kind of says about him in this movie.
Yeah. Well, I think even based again on the trailers, like him gathering everybody and kind of pushing them to be a better version of themselves, like SB was saying, and be that leader, right? I think a lot of people have wanted that since Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Sure.
Because there was a small subset of fans that they were like, well, why didn't Bucky get the shield? And it's like, well, if you saw his story, it's pretty clear why he doesn't get the shield. But is he still a redeemable leader, or has he been redeemed? And I think that answer is yes. They show that throughout his whole MCU journey. And again, him being able to admit what he did and keep on going, even with people kind of knowing what he is, but them seeing the work he's put in, I think that's just what makes him such a compelling character. Aside from just being overall very cool too. So, that does help.
I got a question for you guys, a mini little MCU redo, if you will. If you guys could have went back and changed anything about his character arc, or maybe moments or certain things like they didn't do that you wish that they did pre Falcon and Winter Soldier, maybe let's say in the Infinity Saga, what would you guys have added to his character, tweaked to make him feel maybe better going into the Thunderbolts movie or into Falcon and Winter Soldier?
If I had to pick maybe something small, I think he should have been part of the ones that survived the blip. I think that would just give him another little notch under his belt where he really, I mean, he did fight in the final battle and he did help save the world, but I think that would have been like the really like definitive he helped save the world type thing.
Do you think his star was too big for him to kind of be a residual character at that point?
No. I think he could have fit, but choices had to be made, so it's all right. Yeah. But yeah, that'd be my small change.
I wish we got to see him use the shield just like in a couple of fight scenes. So I don't think we ever really, like, not as Winter Soldier, like as the actual, like, just Bucky. He's not trying to kill Steve. Because I don't think we really got to see him, like, even have, like, Sam, like, pass it to him or throw it around or anything like that. But seeing him, like, use it in a good way, I think would have been pretty cool. Just because to kind of show how he was Cap in the comics at one point and kind of how he is redeemed or could be redeemable to be, like, able to wield the shield a little bit.
Yeah, I could see that. I think they did a couple times, mainly in like Civil War.
I don't remember.
They did in Civil War, but they don't do it aside from that. I don't think. I can't remember if they did in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But I know in Civil War they did a little bit. But I do agree they could have done it a little more just to kind of showcase it. It would have been cool if they just
combos they could have done.
I think in Falcon and Winter Soldier there were some like shield combos that they did with John Walker and Sam and him, and that were kind of cool. I think for me, dude, I would have went two things. Like in hindsight, I wish we'd have gotten more, because it really hit me in Falcon and the Winter Soldier when they were in the bar and he went back to like, let me pretend to be Winter Soldier, and everyone was like, damn, here's Winter Soldier, and like he went off like Winter Soldier does, and I'm like, that's what I want, that's what I want, that's what I want. But I haven't really gotten that in a while. And we really haven't gotten that since. So I think that is the intriguing part for me, to get those vibes and that feel from the trailer in Thunderbolts. But it was so long since we got like that Winter Soldier look. And I know there's a shift of like, I'm Bucky, I'm not Winter Soldier, those types of things. And I'm like, I don't really care about that. Like, I want more Winter Soldier vibes. Like, you can be your anti-hero good guy, fine. But give me the looks. Like the short hair, not digging it. Just like the navy vest, not digging it. Like a toned down Wakandan, like gold, like darker gunmetal gray arm, not vibing with it. Give me that metallic aluminum look. Give me the ridges on it. Let him blast people with it, and I'm good.
Should he be able to throw it out like a hook and hook 3 people behind a wall and bring you in and hit you with one shot out of 300 HP?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I had to get obligatory Marvel Rival reference in. But
okay.
Yeah, but in all honesty, looking at Marvel Rivals, they do such a good job of doing that, of still giving him that look, and they still call him Winter Soldier, but I think he needs like a new upgrade that calls back to that.
Yeah.
Like you're saying.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to be as evil where it's like the black dark goggles, the black dark mask, but he needs something.
Yeah, I think a more like sinister, serious, battle-hardened Bucky that is like on the edge of like
again.
Yeah, like I think the mask would be cool, but I want like a
That was
street
Scream Winter
commando
Soldier, though. Everyone will be scared.
of what?
I said that was Scream Winter Soldier, though, and everyone will get scared.
Dude, that's fine, but I'm sorry. Like if, in Doomsday, like I want the Winter Soldier. I don't want the guy that's like,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
I don't know if I should be fighting today. I'm like, no, you should be crushing everything that comes in front of you. So, I want that aggressive, intense Bucky, but it's, I don't know. I hope we get that. I hope we get that moving forward.
So to say, based on Thunderbolts trailers, it looks like we're getting some teases of that. So hopefully, you know, whatever they end up doing with him soon, we do get more of it. But yeah, it's crazy to think that we're sitting here talking about this character who started off as a very small role in First Avenger, who's now blossomed into probably, in the current state of the MCU, one of your remaining like A tier characters.
I'd call him an A2 character.
Yeah. I was gonna say A+, but I was like, no, I think A for now.
I think he could go back to an A+.
Yeah.
For sure. One last question for you guys, quick rapid fire. Who do you want to see him team up with in the future? Who do you want to see him share screen and get a nice little fight combo scene with?
Shang-Chi.
Oh,
Punisher.
ooh, dang. Boys.
That was
No, because imagine this. Fisk, anti-vigilante, got him cornered. In drops Daredevil. In drops Frank. Castle? Bro. Come on now. that 3 combo? No one's getting out of that.
Guys, please let there be a moment where he's the congressman and Fisk is his visitor or something like that, and like they have an interaction or moment. Oh my god, bro.
movies. Oh.
No, send him down the, I was about to say Netflix. Oops.
Oopsie. Who's that?
No. I would say this is super vanilla, but I really I want him to team up with Sam as like the new
I'm
Cap
thinking about that too.
in this version of Cap, to have them kind of run it back together of like he's Cap and he's like Winter Soldier Bucky, and they just kind of bang. Well, not, you know.
I was gonna say no.
No. Armed and dangerous, bro. Is that what I meant?
Seeing him team up with Spidey again would be interesting, considering they fought the first time they ever met.
Bro, we better be getting Spidey clones. My guy can show up everywhere. But Winter Soldier, though, fantastic character. He's had a really, really, really strong run in the MCU. Again, we've talked about it. He's one of the top tier legacy OG level characters that, you know, we're getting here in a few weeks, and hopefully we see him he's confirmed for Doomsday, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. We'll be seeing him in the next Avengers movie. All right, everyone. Well, that was today's video. We appreciate you taking the time to hang out with us. If you're watching this on YouTube, we appreciate you. If you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple, anywhere you listen to your podcasts, we appreciate you as well. Let us know what you're looking forward to with Bucky Barnes, aka the Winter Soldier Forever in our hearts, in the comments below. And we will see you guys Wednesday, 9:05 Eastern, for our live stream. Tons of juicy stuff that's coming up, both DC and Marvel, so do not miss out on it. And if you want more from the Point 3 podcast, jump into our Discord. You can find our links everywhere, all over our socials. And if you're not following the socials, what are you doing? Grab a friend, follow us, follow along, and we will see you all in the next one.